Sit back, relax, and close your eyes. Imagine it's 2030. You're basking in the glow of retirement or standing on the cusp of your golden years. You wake up on a calming Sunday morning. The sun bathes your room in a gentle light. The air is crisp, and you savor a rich, delicious cup of coffee while looking outside your window. Life feels perfect. After 40 years of work, you're finally at peace. But then your phone vibrates. Funds are frozen, not by a hacker, but by a government-issued digital currency. Is this a nightmare from a dystopian sci-fi movie? Nope. This is a glimpse into our possible future. And this future could come way sooner than you think. Welcome to the world of central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. Hello, my friends, the DeFi Doctor here. And as the head of education for the #1 decentralized finance educational platform in the world, with over 3,000 investors totaling a collective in the billions of assets and a team of over 100 top researchers and analysts in the world of finance, we've seen the dangers of CBDCs on more than one occasion. They're looming on the horizon and pose an incredible risk. That's why in the next 7 minutes, I won't only dive deep into why a CBDC is a lot closer than we think. I'll also dive into how you can legally opt out of this digital dollar once it comes. Yep, you heard right, opt out of the digital dollar. So stick around for the next 7 minutes and I'll show you exactly how to take advantage of a little known $192 billion industry that will allow you to do just that. An industry that only 0.02% of the world is currently invested in. It all started with bartering, the oldest method of exchange dating back to 6000 BC. Simply, people traded goods and services directly. Imagine swapping a basket of apples for a handmade tool. Straightforward, but limited. Then around 3000 BC, commodity money emerged. Societies began using items like seashells, cattle, and grain as a medium of exchange. These were more portable and widely accepted, but still had their drawbacks, obviously. Which is why the next big leap came with the use of precious metals. Around 600 BC, the first known coins were created in the kingdom of Lydia, or Turkey as we call it nowadays. For centuries and centuries, this was how we spent our money, using coins. Then if we jump all the way ahead to the 19th century, we saw the establishment of the gold standard. The value of money was directly linked to a specific amount of gold. The UK adopted the gold standard in 1821, and by the late 19th century, it had spread to most of the world's major economies. This era brought stability to international trade and investments, as currencies had fixed values in terms of gold. Then the 20th century came around and marked a significant shift to using fiat currency. In 1914, World War I forced many countries to suspend the gold standard. After the war, the US briefly returned to a gold standard, but ultimately abandoned it in 1933 during the Great Depression under President Roosevelt. The Bretton Woods Agreement in 1944 established the US dollar's dominance, pegging it to gold while other currencies were pegged to the dollar. However, in 1971, President Nixon terminated the Bretton Woods system and fully transitioned to fiat currencies. Governments issued paper money, not backed by physical commodities, but by trust in the issuing authority. This allowed for greater flexibility in managing economies, but also introduced risks like inflation and the potential for currency devaluation. The late 20th and early 21st centuries saw the creation of digital money, the creation of PayPal in 1998, and the introduction of Bitcoin in 2009 by an unknown person or group using the name Satoshi Nakamoto, marked the beginning of the digital currency era. Cryptocurrencies introduced the concept of decentralized, borderless digital money, challenging traditional financial systems. But now, we're on the cusp of another monumental change, a change which could shift the financial landscape forever. So let me show you what these central bank digital currencies could really do for our society, why they may just be the final nail in the coffin for our financial system, and what effects they could have for you and your family's financial future. The fractional reserve banking system. Imagine a bank as a swimming pool. When you deposit money, it's like adding water to the pool. But the bank doesn't keep all that water in the pool. It lends most of it out, keeping only a small portion or the reserve in case people want to withdraw. In the United States, the reserve requirement was traditionally around 10%. This means for every $100 you deposit, the bank could lend out $90. However, in 2020, due to the pandemic, the Federal Reserve reduced this requirement to, yes, zero, giving banks even more lending flexibility. This system has been the backbone of modern banking since the Bank of England pioneered it in the 17th century. It allows banks to create money through lending, fueling economic growth. But it's a delicate balance. If too many people want their money back at once, the pool runs dry. Enter CBDCs. Central bank digital currencies are like digital cash, but with superpowers. Unlike the electronic money in your bank account, which is a claim on the bank, CBDCs are a direct claim on the central bank, as secure as physical cash, but with the convenience of digital transactions. As of last year, 2023, 11 countries have launched CBDCs. China, India, Nigeria, the Bahamas, just to name a few. In fact, it's been reported that 130 countries are exploring the possibility of CBDCs. Yes, 130 countries. And guess what? The US is one of those 130 countries. Yes, you heard that right, so pay close attention to what I'm about to reveal next. Now, is there anything good about CBDCs, or is it all bad? Well, it's not all bad, because CBDCs do offer some features that can make them irresistible to users. Instant settlements, no more waiting days for checks to clear. Programmable money, imagine your salary automatically paying your bills or your child's allowance having spending restrictions. Lower transaction fees. CBDCs could significantly reduce the cost of spending money, especially internationally. Financial inclusion. In countries like Sweden, where cash usage has dropped to less than 10%, CBDCs could provide a digital alternative for those without bank accounts. However, this convenience comes at a steep cost. The more attractive CBDCs become, the more likely people are to prefer them over traditional bank deposits. So how can they actually cause bank runs? And more importantly, how would these bank runs affect you and your family? Well, you're about to find out the bank run scenario. To understand a bank run, let's revisit our swimming pool analogy. Normally, people come to swim at different times, the equivalent of withdrawing money. But what if everyone decided to jump in at once? The pool would overflow and the bank would run out of water, which is money. Now imagine this happening not just at one pool, but every pool in the country, simultaneously. That's the potential risk of CBDCs. During the Great Depression in 1933, a series of bank runs led to the failure of over 4,000 banks in the US. This led to the creation of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or FDIC, to protect depositors. With CBDCs, a bank run could happen at an unprecedented speed. In 1929, it took weeks for panic to spread. In the 2008 financial crisis, it took days. With CBDCs, it could happen in minutes. Now listen very carefully, because I'm going to explain something that's pretty insane, something that could potentially harm your nest egg if you're not careful. We will call it the domino effect. It's very scary, and it's very real. And because of the potential CBDC, this could become a reality for Americans. Well, when banks run out of reserves, they're forced to sell assets quickly. This is like a fire sale. Everyone rushing to sell their furniture when their house is burning down. The result? Asset prices plummet. Let's look at some numbers. In 2008, the S&P 500 fell by 38.5% due to the financial crisis. In March 2020, When the pandemic hit, the markets dropped 34% in just 33 days. I mean, just imagine, it's a peaceful morning. You're slowly waking up, checking the news while taking a sip of your coffee, and then you hear it. You hear the words you thought you would never hear. The digital dollar is here. And while you're processing this news, portfolios are already being slashed in half. Retirement funds are plummeting by the hour. Saving accounts frozen without warning. And there's even talk of pensioners being forced back to work. All of those peaceful golden years they promised you, gone. 40 years of hard work for nothing. And the nightmare doesn't end there. Every purchase you make, tracked. Every transaction, monitored. Your financial freedom evaporated overnight. The financial decisions of Americans are no longer private, with every move being scrutinized. Now, this might seem like a distant future, but with the Fed's recent developments, it could become a reality in America real soon. And I mean real soon. And it doesn't end there, because there's also the central bank dilemma, which I'm about to explain, which could further worsen the effects of CBDCs. It's something that could potentially destabilize the entire financial system. You see, when bank runs set in, central banks would face a Sophie's choice moment. Let banks fail or bail them out by creating more CBDCs. Both options have severe consequences. Letting banks fail. This could lead to a repeat of the Great Depression, where GDP fell by 30% and unemployment reached 25%. This could lead to rapid inflation or hyperinflation. Plus, CBDCs bring the death of financial privacy. CBDCs could give governments a real-time, granular view of all financial transactions. This is like having a financial GPS tracking your every move. Imagine if the government could see every coffee you buy, every donation you make, every subscription you have. And this level of surveillance could lead to social credit systems, like China's, where citizens are scored based on their behavior. Targeted taxation. Governments could implement taxes on specific transactions. Financial censorship. Authorities could block or reverse transactions they deemed inappropriate. Imagine a society where you could be banned from traveling because your social credit score was too low. Yup, it's that serious. CBDCs can also completely upend how central banks implement monetary policy. Currently, when the Federal Reserve wants to stimulate the economy, it lowers interest rates. This process can take months to affect the broader economy. With CBDCs, central banks could implement negative interest rates more easily, distribute helicopter money directly to citizens, or adjust the money supply in real time. While this could make monetary policy more effective, it also concentrates enormous power in the hands of central bankers. There's also cybersecurity risks. While blockchain technology can enhance security, a centralized CBDC system could become a prime target for cyber attacks. In 2016, hackers stole $81 million from the Central Bank of Bangladesh through a SWIFT system. A successful attack on a CBDC system could have far more devastating consequences. So I suppose the million-dollar question is, how can we avoid this complete mess of a CBDC? And now I'm going to give you the million-dollar answer. The solution to opt out of CBDCs. A solution that up until recently was only available to the wealthiest individuals in America. Bezos, Musk, Buffett. But now, retail investors finally have the exclusive opportunity to tap into this too. A way out of the ever-increasing clasp of the government over your finances. A way out of this digital dollar. And a way into complete financial autonomy for you and your family. Enter the world of decentralized finance. Decentralized finance, or DeFi, as an alternative. Decentralized finance, or DeFi for short, is the $192 billion industry that offers an alternative to CBDCs. This is your way to opt out of this digital dollar that's on the way. Instead of relying on banks or any central authority, DeFi uses blockchain technology to offer financial services directly to you. No middlemen, no extra fees, just pure direct control over your finances. And the best bit, no single entity can control the blockchain or DeFi, not even the government. With DeFi, you can lend, borrow, earn interest, and trade assets, all without needing a bank. It's like having your own personal bank, but without the headaches and restrictions. While CBDCs could mean every transaction you make is tracked and monitored, DeFi keeps things private and secure. Your financial decisions stay your own. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's fight. On my right, invented by the governments, the elites to have more control, CBDCs. And on my left, giving power to the individuals, decentralized finance. Round 1, financial sovereignty versus government control. CBDCs give central banks unprecedented control over your money. In contrast, DeFi puts you in complete control of your assets. Your funds are secured by cryptographic keys that only you possess, not by a government-controlled digital wallet. This means no authority can freeze your accounts or dictate how you can use your money. Round 2, privacy protection versus financial surveillance. CBDCs could enable governments to track every transaction you make. DeFi, on the other hand, preserves privacy. You are totally anonymous. While transactions are recorded on a public blockchain, your personal identity isn't directly linked with your wallet address. Moreover, advanced privacy protocols in DeFi can offer even greater anonymity, ensuring your financial activities remain your business alone. Round 3, censorship resistance versus transaction control. With CBDCs, governments could potentially block or reverse transactions they deem inappropriate. DeFi transactions are immutable and censorship resistant. Once executed, they cannot be reversed or blocked by any central authority, ensuring your financial freedom remains intact. Round 4, global access versus geographical restrictions. CBDCs will likely be limited to national borders, subject to capital controls. DeFi is borderless. You can access DeFi services from anywhere in the world with an internet connection, allowing you to diversify your wealth globally without restrictions. Round 5, 24/7 markets versus banking hours. Unlike traditional finance or potential CBDC systems that operate on banking hours, DeFi markets are always open. This allows for greater flexibility in managing your wealth and responding to market conditions in real time. Round 6, protection against bank runs. Unlike the fractional reserve banking system that CBDCs could destabilize, DeFi protocols are often over-collateralized. For example, lending platforms typically require borrowers to post more collateral than they borrow, providing a buffer against sudden liquidity crunches. Round 7, competitive yields versus negative interest rates. CBDCs could potentially implement negative interest rates, effectively charging you for holding money. DeFi offers numerous opportunities for generating yield on your assets, from lending protocols to liquidity provision, allowing your money to work for you 24/7. As we navigate the evolving landscape of digital finance, DeFi stands out as a robust alternative to CBDCs. It offers the benefits of digital currencies without compromising on the principles of financial freedom and individual sovereignty. While CBDCs may pose a threat to your financial freedom, there is an evident solution: decentralized finance. It's not just an alternative, it's a shield against government overreach and financial surveillance. With DeFi, you maintain privacy, your assets are secure, and you remain in control without jeopardizing your freedom. If you prioritize your wealth, control, privacy, and financial freedom, DeFi isn't just an option, it's a necessity. That's why we've put together a video walking you through the ins and outs of DeFi, giving you a complete A to Z roadmap on how to start tapping into this little-known secretly booming industry. If you're someone who cares about securing their retirement, safeguarding their nest egg, and sidestepping the traditional financial system, this video is for you. To make it easy, you can click on the card on the top right of the screen right now and be taken over to that video, or head to the top of this description. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now you understand CBDCs a little bit better and the risks they bring with them. The traditional world of finance is becoming increasingly scary out there. Changes are already happening at the blink of an eye. However, you now know how to opt out of this digital dollar by leveraging decentralized finance. You now have an edge over the rest, something that only 0.02% of the world is actively participating in. Apart from that, I'm always here to keep you updated and in the loop. So for now, I wish you all the best. I'll wrap it up here. Until next time, take care.